Ladies and gentlemen, if you want 2026 to be the year everything changes for you, don't wait for January, don't wait for a miracle, and don't wait for life to magically get better. The truth is simple. Nothing in your life will change unless you change. Your habits today are building your destiny tomorrow. And if you don't take control of them now, the future you dream of will quietly slip away. But if you start today, even with the smallest steps, you will create a version of yourself that 2026 cannot ignore. 2026 will be your year, not because the calendar will magically change your life, but because you will. A new year never transforms anyone. It simply gives us a moment to pause and ask, am I becoming the person I'm meant to be? And the truth is, the future does not wait for anyone. It rewards those who prepare for it today. If you want 2026 to be extraordinary, start shaping yourself now through habits that strengthen your mind, discipline your actions, and purify your intentions. Begin with the habit of waking up every day with a sense of purpose. Most people open their eyes and immediately slip back into autopilot. Same routine, same reactions, same worries. But a purposeful morning is like switching on a light inside your mind. It reminds you that you are not here merely to survive another day. You are here to grow, contribute, and rise a little higher than yesterday. Even if the purpose is small, hold it close. A direction, no matter how tiny, is always more powerful than drifting aimlessly. Cultivate the habit of gratitude. It is impossible to build a great life while constantly focusing on what is missing. Gratitude doesn't mean ignoring problems. It simply means choosing to notice the blessings that already exist. When you appreciate what you have, you become a magnet for opportunities. And when you operate from a place of abundance instead of lack, your decisions become wiser, calmer, and more courageous. Practice the habit of learning something every day, not the learning forced by fear or competition, but learning fueled by curiosity. Read a few pages, listen to something insightful, reflect on your actions, or observe the world more mindfully. The moment you stop learning, your growth stops, and if your growth stops, your life becomes repetitive. Learning keeps you alive, alert, and expanding from within. Adopt the habit of managing your emotional energy. Many people are exhausted not because they do too much, but because they carry too much resentment, comparison, guilt, and old wounds. Letting go is not a sign of weakness. It is an act of maturity. Release the emotional baggage that drains your peace. When your mind is light, your path becomes clear. Build the habit of consistency, even in small things. Grand transformations are often the result of tiny, repeated actions. 5 minutes of silence daily, a short walk, a healthier choice, a kind message to someone. These may seem insignificant, but they compound over time. Consistency builds trust within yourself, and when you trust yourself, discipline no longer feels like a burden. It becomes a natural expression of who you are. Practice the habit of choosing your company wisely. The people around you shape your thoughts, your confidence, and your vision. Surround yourself with those who uplift you, challenge you, and remind you of your potential. Distance yourself from negativity, not with arrogance, but with awareness. You don't owe everyone your energy, you owe yourself the space to grow. Develop the habit of financial responsibility. Money is not everything, but mismanaging it creates stress that affects everything. Save a little, invest a little, spend mindfully, and avoid unnecessary comparison. Let your financial decisions reflect wisdom rather than impulse. A stable mind grows best in a stable environment. Embrace the habit of taking care of your body. Your health is the vehicle through which you pursue your dreams. Treat it with respect. Move more, rest well, nourish yourself wisely, and listen to your body before it is forced to speak louder through illness. A strong mind needs a strong home. Practice the habit of introspection. Before pointing fingers outward, turn the mirror inward. Ask yourself, where can I improve? What can I change? How can I respond better? Growth does not come from blaming circumstances. It comes from refining your choices. And finally, nurture the habit of patience. Everything meaningful takes time. Flowers don't bloom by being pulled. They bloom by being nurtured. Your goals, your healing, your success, your transformation, they will unfold, but only if you give them space, effort, and faith. If these habits take root in your life, 2026 will not just be another year. It will be the year you look back on and say, that is when everything began to change. And when everything begins to change, the world around you may not immediately understand it. People often recognize transformation only after it becomes visible, but the real shift happens quietly inside you long before anyone else notices. That is why another powerful habit to build is the ability to work in silence. Not every dream needs to be announced. Not every step requires validation. When you stop seeking applause for your progress, you begin to value the journey more than the attention, and that is when your growth becomes unstoppable. As you continue this path, learn the habit of responding to life instead of reacting to it. Reactions are quick, emotional, and often regretted later. Responses are thoughtful, calm, and grounded in wisdom. When you pause before you speak, breathe before you judge, and observe before you assume, you protect your inner peace. Life will always test you with situations and people who trigger old wounds. But every time you choose to respond with maturity, you elevate yourself above old patterns and create a newer, brighter version of who you are becoming. Build the habit of showing kindness even when the world feels harsh. Kindness is not a weakness. It is a strength that heals both the giver and the receiver. A gentle word can calm a storm. A patient gesture can repair a misunderstanding. A simple smile can uplift someone carrying an invisible burden. Kindness plants seeds of goodwill that return to you in unexpected ways. When you choose kindness, you choose to rise above pettiness and create a life guided by compassion instead of ego. Another habit that will define your growth is courage. Not the loud, dramatic courage shown in movies, but the quiet courage of taking small steps despite fear. Courage to try again after failing. Courage to walk away from what no longer aligns with your growth. Courage to speak the truth even when your voice trembles. Courage to choose long-term gain over short-term comfort. Every courageous act strengthens the foundation of your future. The more you practice it, the more natural it becomes, and soon you realize that fear was never the barrier. It was the doorway. Develop the habit of valuing time. Time is the one resource you cannot earn back once spent. Use it wisely. Spend less time on distractions that drain your energy and more on actions that bring you closer to your goals. Guard your time not with resistance, but with clarity. When you know what truly matters, you stop wasting your days on things that don't. And when you treat your time with respect, others begin to respect it too. Learn the habit of embracing challenges. Many people pray for an easy life, but it is the difficult moments that shape your strength, deepen your understanding, and prepare you for greater responsibilities. When challenges appear, instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" begin asking, "What is this teaching me?" Every struggle carries a lesson. Every obstacle reveals something about your abilities. When you stop running from challenges and start engaging with them, you transform pain into progress. Practice the habit of celebrating small victories. We often wait for big achievements to feel proud, but growth happens in small, consistent steps. A day without procrastination, a decision made wisely, a temptation resisted, a new skill practiced, an old habit questioned. These are victories too. When you acknowledge them, you fuel your motivation. And when you fuel your motivation, you make the journey joyful rather than exhausting. Build the habit of forgiveness. Holding grudges is like holding hot coal. The longer you keep it, the more it burns you. Forgiveness does not mean accepting wrong behavior. It means refusing to let someone else's actions take away your peace. Release the resentment that weighs down your heart. Free yourself from the emotional chains that bind you to the past. A lighter heart moves faster toward the future. Develop the habit of being present. The mind loves to wander into the regrets of yesterday or the anxieties of tomorrow. But life is happening right now, in this moment. When you learn to live fully in the present, you notice beauty you previously ignored, opportunities you previously overlooked, and moments of joy you previously rushed past. Being present strengthens your relationships, improves your focus, and deepens your sense of fulfillment. Practice the habit of believing in yourself even when results haven't shown up yet. Many people quit not because they cannot achieve success, but because they stop believing too soon. You must learn to trust the process. Seeds do not sprout the day they are planted. There is an unseen phase of growth that takes place underground. Your journey is the same. Trust your efforts, trust your discipline, trust your growth even when it's invisible. Build the habit of self-respect. Self-respect means setting boundaries, honoring your needs, speaking your truth, and refusing to shrink yourself to fit into places where your soul feels unwelcome. When you treat yourself with dignity, your choices become aligned with your values. And when your choices align with your values, your life begins to align with your purpose. Learn the habit of perseverance. Greatness is not built in comfort, it is built in persistence. When the enthusiasm fades, when things become repetitive, when progress feels slow, that is when perseverance matters most. Keep showing up, keep putting in the work, keep doing your best, even on the days when it feels unnoticed. The universe rewards those who refuse to give up and continue nurturing the habit of hope. Hope is not blind optimism. It is the quiet belief that no matter how difficult today is, tomorrow carries the potential for improvement. Hope keeps your spirit alive during challenges. Hope reminds you that storms eventually pass. Hope fuels your determination and keeps you moving forward when everything else tells you to stop. As these habits take root, you begin to realize that the transformation you seek is not distant. It is already unfolding within you, one disciplined choice, one mindful thought, one courageous step at a time. And as this transformation unfolds within you, something even more profound begins to happen. You start noticing a shift in the way you interpret life. Situations that once overwhelmed you now seem manageable. Challenges that once frightened you now appear as opportunities wrapped in discomfort. This shift is not accidental. It is the result of the inner work you've been doing. The habits you cultivate slowly reshape your perspective, and your perspective reshapes your reality. One powerful habit to deepen is the discipline of choosing progress over perfection. Many people never begin because they are waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, or the perfect version of themselves. Perfection is a myth that traps you in paralysis. Progress, on the other hand, is real, achievable, and transformative. When you honor small improvements instead of chasing flawless outcomes, you free yourself from the pressure that holds you back. You begin to move, grow, and evolve with a sense of freedom rather than fear. Strengthen the habit of conscious speech. The words you speak shape the energy around you and the emotions within you. When you speak with kindness, sincerity, and intention, you create harmony in your relationships and clarity in your mind. Harsh words may feel powerful in the moment, but they leave a trail of regret behind them. Gentle words may seem small, but they build bridges, heal wounds, and inspire trust. Speak mindfully, not because others demand it, but because your inner peace deserves it. Practice the habit of embracing solitude. In a world filled with endless noise, moments of quiet reflection become essential for understanding yourself. Solitude is not loneliness. It is the space where you reconnect with your inner world, your values, and your aspirations. When you sit alone, you hear the voices within, the voice of intuition, the voice of conscience, the voice of wisdom. These voices often whisper the answers you've been searching for in the world outside. Cultivate the habit of breaking your own patterns. We all have routines, beliefs, and emotional reactions that we repeat without questioning. Some of these patterns help us grow, while others silently limit our potential. When you become aware of your patterns, you gain the power to change them. Ask yourself, is this behavior helping me or hurting me? Awareness is the first step to transformation. The next step is courage. The courage to let go of patterns that no longer align with who you are becoming. Another life-altering habit is learning to differentiate between what you can control and what you cannot. Stress often arises when you try to manage things beyond your influence, people's opinions, the past, uncertainties, external events. But peace begins when you redirect your energy toward what you can influence, your actions, your thoughts, your responses, your choices. The moment you stop wrestling with the uncontrollable, your mind becomes lighter and your direction becomes clearer. Build the habit of seeking meaning rather than validation. Validation fades quickly, meaning lasts. When you chase approval, you become dependent on unpredictable opinions. But when you chase purpose, you anchor yourself to something deeper than applause. Success feels empty without meaning, but even small actions feel fulfilling when they align with your values. Don't look outward for confirmation of your worth. Look inward for clarity about your purpose. Practice the habit of flexibility. Life rarely unfolds according to your exact plan. Sometimes you will be redirected, detoured, slowed down, or surprised. Flexibility allows you to adapt without losing your spirit. When you resist change, you create frustration. When you flow with change, you create possibilities. Flexibility isn't about giving up your goals. It's about adjusting your path while staying committed to your destination. Develop the habit of nurturing relationships with intention. Every meaningful connection requires effort, attention, understanding, and communication. Don't wait for people to read your mind. Express your feelings with clarity and empathy. Don't assume someone knows you care. Show it through small acts of presence. Relationships grow not from grand gestures but from consistent kindness. When you invest in people who uplift your life, the returns come in the form of joy, strength, and belonging. Strengthen the habit of emotional honesty with yourself. Many people avoid acknowledging their own feelings because they fear judgment or discomfort. But emotions do not disappear when ignored. They simply grow in silence. When you allow yourself to feel, truly feel, you begin to understand yourself more deeply. Emotional honesty brings healing. It helps you identify wounds that need attention and strengths that deserve recognition. Give yourself permission to be human. Embrace the habit of taking responsibility for your life. Responsibility is empowering because it frees you from the blame cycle. When you hold yourself accountable for your choices, you gain the authority to change them. Responsibility transforms a passive life into an active one. Instead of waiting for circumstances to improve, you become the one who improves them. It is not about self-criticism, it is about self-liberation. Build the habit of doing things with love. Whether you are working, studying, helping someone, or simply going through your day, let your actions be guided by sincerity. When you do things with love, your energy changes. Your work becomes more meaningful. Your relationships become more harmonious, and your everyday life becomes more joyful. Love adds depth to ordinary moments and beauty to ordinary tasks. Cultivate the habit of perseverance, not only in effort, but also in faith. There will be days when progress is invisible, when motivation is low, and when doubts feel louder than dreams. Those are the days that test your commitment. Keep going, not because results are visible, but because the path you're on is shaping you. Perseverance turns effort into achievement and dreams into reality. And as these habits strengthen, something beautiful begins to unfold. You start feeling aligned with your own life. You begin to sense that every choice, every action, every moment of awareness is guiding you toward the life you've long envisioned. You understand that your future is not created in one grand moment, but in countless small, intentional decisions made every single day. And with every intentional decision, you begin to recognize that life is not happening to you. It is responding to you. This realization alone changes everything. You no longer feel like a passenger carried by the circumstances around you. You start to feel like the driver shaping the direction of your own journey. And from this inner shift emerges another powerful habit, the habit of living with awareness. Awareness of your thoughts, your emotions, your actions, and even the subtle energies you absorb from your surroundings. When you become aware, you stop living on autopilot. You start to choose your responses instead of repeating old patterns, and you begin to see possibilities where previously you only saw limitations. Deepen the habit of intentional rest. Many people confuse rest with laziness, but rest is not an escape from responsibility. It is a preparation for it. When you rest with intention, you recharge your mind, rejuvenate your spirit, and strengthen your ability to perform with clarity. Rest does not merely give you energy, it gives you perspective. A tired mind exaggerates problems, while a rested mind sees solutions. Honoring rest is honoring your future self. Another habit worth cultivating is the ability to remain grounded when life gets noisy. External noise will always surround you, opinions, pressures, expectations, comparisons, but your inner stillness is where wisdom resides. Staying grounded means not being shaken by every storm, not being carried away by every distraction, and not being swayed by every emotion. It means standing firm in your values while the world around you shifts. When you are grounded, you respond to life with clarity instead of confusion. Build the habit of disciplined focus. Your attention is your most valuable currency. Whatever you consistently focus on will grow. If you focus on worries, they expand. If you focus on opportunities, they multiply. If you focus on what you lack, you feel empty. If you focus on what you can create, you feel empowered. Discipline your focus toward things that strengthen you, your goals, your values, your growth. Every distraction you overcome is a step closer to the life you envision. Develop the habit of acting with intention rather than impulse. Impulsive actions often bring temporary satisfaction but long-term regret. Intentional actions may require patience, but they bring long-lasting fulfillment. Before making decisions, pause and ask yourself, is this aligned with who I want to become? That single question has the power to redirect your entire life. Nurture the habit of self-discipline. Discipline is not punishment, it is devotion to your future. It is the bridge between intentions and accomplishments. Discipline shows up on the days when motivation disappears. It is what allows dreams to survive the storms of doubt. When you make discipline a part of your identity, success stops being a distant possibility and becomes an inevitable result. Strengthen the habit of humility. Humility is not about thinking less of yourself. It is about thinking clearly about yourself. It allows you to learn from others without feeling threatened. It allows you to accept mistakes without feeling defeated. It allows you to grow without letting success inflate your ego. Humility creates space for wisdom to enter, and wisdom creates space for transformation to unfold. Practice the habit of showing up wholeheartedly. Whether you're working on a task, nurturing a relationship, or pursuing a dream, give your full presence. Half-hearted efforts produce half-hearted results. When you show up with sincerity, your actions gain power. People feel the difference, life feels the difference, and most importantly, you feel the difference. Adopt the habit of celebrating others. The world becomes a more generous place when you learn to appreciate the success of others without feeling envious or insecure. Someone else's success does not diminish yours. In fact, celebrating others expands your own capacity for joy. It keeps your heart open and teaches you that abundance grows when shared, not when guarded. Cultivate the habit of emotional maturity. Emotional maturity is the ability to remain steady, even when your emotions try to pull you in every direction. It is the ability to listen without defending, speak without attacking, and feel without collapsing. It is choosing reason over reaction, compassion over ego, and understanding over assumption. Emotional maturity is what turns experiences into wisdom. Embrace the habit of long-term thinking. Many people sacrifice their future to satisfy their present impulses. But those who build meaningful lives think beyond the moment. They make decisions based on who they want to become, not just how they feel today. Long-term thinking helps you rise above temporary discomfort and stay rooted in your purpose. It's what keeps you moving on days when the road feels slow. Strengthen the habit of affirming your worth. Your value does not come from achievements, titles, or opinions. It comes from the truth of who you are at your core. When you affirm your worth, you stop settling for less than you deserve. You stop shrinking yourself to make others comfortable. You stop questioning whether you are capable. You begin to stand with confidence, not arrogance, but a quiet knowing that you are worthy of growth, worthy of opportunities, and worthy of your own dreams. Develop the habit of consistency in self-improvement. Growth is not something you chase once and forget. It is a lifelong journey. Show up for yourself daily, reflect daily, improve daily. Even a tiny improvement repeated consistently becomes a massive transformation over time. You don't need giant leaps. You need steady steps. And as these habits intertwine with your daily life, you will notice that you are no longer waiting for 2026 to change you. You are already becoming the person who will meet that year with strength, clarity, and purpose. Every moment of effort, every mindful decision, every inner shift is preparing you for the life you are stepping into.